Welcome back, Blood Bowl fans. We are back again with the Season 3 of the T-GOW Bloodbowl League. As you can see, we are into week 6 of 12. 6 of 12. We only have 2 fixtures outstanding, one of which is an automatic concede. So technically, 1 fixture outstanding, and that is to be played between Liam and Carl. This is covering and finalising the Primera Division, the Lily May Primera Division's round 3 fixtures, and the Artful Blodger's Segunda Division round 4 fixtures. I'll take this time to anyone that isn't a subscriber to the Artful Blodger, who you can see above me, and consider taking a look. He does good things, and he is one of the coaches in the Segunda Division, and we'll get to him specifically right now, actually. As looking at the fixture that was completed between his T-GOW Wild Boys and John's Zandri Power Slaves. John, who at the time was second, chasing after Jim, who was top of the division. These two are definitely the ones fighting out, but there is a tertiary team that is just trying to sneak in a look. We'll get to that when we show you the league table. Jim had beat John in the cup 1-0 through some unlucky sportsmanship from the referee, but revenge was certainly had, as in the league fixture, it was a 2-0 victory to the Zandri Power Slaves, but it was also 2-0 to the Wild Boys. So some injuries were caused. I don't believe, from what I heard from the game and from what reports have been heard, they were terribly painful injuries. But nice and simple, 2-0, 2-0. It does mean that John, and I haven't updated it yet because I haven't added it on, you will get yourself a clean sheet bonus. Which, when we go to the league table in a moment, at least for the Segunda Division, I will explain it. Moving on, looking at the other Segunda Division fixture that was played, that was between Stuart's Anti-Heroes and Nigel's Badlands Blackhawks. It was a fairly standard affair about what you'd expect, with the exception the casualties didn't lie where you expected. It was a 2-0 victory to Stuart, with Wade Wilson and Rocket picking up the touchdowns, but it was also 2-1 on casualties to the Anti-Heroes. Usually, when it comes against an elf team and an orc team, the elf team will usually win, but it's a case of at what cost. But luckily and unluckily for Nigel, that team came out relatively unscathed. So, bear in mind, we have a concede to add to this. So, Tom, you will be due 11 points, I believe. And if I just add to John, you'll clean sheet bonus. Which takes you up to 3. You are currently top of the division, and in second, Jim very close. Also, might I add, John has a game in hand to play. That is fascinatingly fantastic. As I said, the tertiary team that's looking for a sniff. And also, when we had Tom's concede points to dear Adam, Tom will actually be in the race as well. And I believe, if my math is correct, Tom will actually go ahead of Stu into 3rd place. Yeah, we never thought we'd hear that day. Tom's improving. Sean left the league in disgrace and is flying his way to the bottom of the table, where he will be joining Adam, who also left the league in disgrace. The man of honour, and honestly, with the black eyes he's been dealt game after game, gotta give my respect to him. Nigel, played 4 games, you've completed 4 games, you've lost 4 games. You haven't scored in any. You have conceded on average 2 a game, and you've only dealt 2 casualties. I haven't studied your games, so I don't know if it's poor tactics, bad luck, or both. But It's not looking great. It's not looking great. So let's move across to look at the points and touchdown differences. So, John, you are ahead with 1 game in hand and 2 points. You have picked up yourself 2 touchdown bonuses, 2 CAS bonuses, and 3 clean sheet bonuses. Some of those have come from concedes, but that doesn't matter. Jim, you have fought your way with 2 clean sheet bonuses, 2 CAS bonuses, and 1 touchdown bonus. Stuart on 19 points, Tom on 11, Sean we don't talk about, Nigel on 4, and Adam on none. We don't talk. Unlucky. It is what it is. Now, going back to the fixtures, because we have one Primera Division match to talk about. Because from this week, the match between Lee and Rob had already been completed at this point, and just for future reference, Rob has gone AWOL, and as far as I am aware, will not be competing in the rest of the league, so his league position will only deteriorate from this point on. The game between myself and Sam is interesting. It was bad for me. Pre-season, before a ball was kicked in an official league match, myself and Sam decided to play each other with the same teams, our league roster teams that were ready, battle-tested, skills, all that. I won 3-0 and dealt 16 casualties, I believe it was in the end. I absolutely swept the Snotling team with the vampires. It wasn't a match, it was a mugging. Like, it was bad. It was really, really bad. But when I say this, people ain't gonna believe it, but all I say is just watch the match. The dice hated me this game. Animal Savagery really, really popped off for pretty much the first time this season, and oh boy, did it make up for all the games it hasn't. In the first turn, I dealt a Kaz, I Kaz'd myself, and I also knocked someone else out on the very first turn of the game. So immediately I was down 2 players. And that theme continued for the entire game. And it got to a point where I had 2 players on the pitch in the second half. And I kid you guys not. I really don't. I scored early. I could have probably scored a second, and I really needed to. And it was just a case of the attrition just got to me in the end. And it actually ended in 1-1 to Sam Snotlings. And there's nothing, like, we could play this same game 20 times. And that result probably would never get anywhere near what it did. He dealt 4 casualties to me and 1 from a wizard. So 5 injuries dealt to me in total. I also dealt 5 back. But the key difference is in the types of casualties that were dealt. I don't have the details of injury from the Snotling team, but mine were one of my thralls, my unskilled thralls, missed next game and lost a passing stat. Doesn't matter. That's negligible. Fine. Cool. We'll deal with that. The next game, the next injury was a thrall, my tackle thrall, which has been vital against these agility-based teams. Lost an armor point. And a miss next game. Bad. Still going to keep her, though, because the tackle is more important than the 1 point of armor, but this is where it gets painful. Failed regeneration on a vampire that lost a strength point. I had a strength bust on my strength 4 vampire. Luckily, it was an unskilled vampire, and she has promptly been sent the fuck away. But it was a very, very hurtful game for me, and considering my next fixtures, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, no, all props to Sam, honestly. There's just nothing that could have been done, really. And that leaves the table as follows, with Rob, who will no longer be participating as far as I'm aware, currently top of the table by 2 points, as I am 2 points behind. Liam, with his game yet to play against Carl, is only 1 point behind myself. So long as Liam doesn't concede, which I'm pretty sure isn't going to happen, he's at the very least, if he loses, going to tie me. And then bonuses could make it better. If he draws wins, he goes ahead of me. And it looks like it's going to be a 2-horse race, maybe 3 if you count Lee in it as well, because Lee, who is in 4th, is on 13 points, who's on the same points as Liam, 1 point behind me. Liam is definitely in the ascendancy to win the league. The big thing is, I am yet to play Liam, and if I manage to beat Liam, or if Lee manages to beat Liam, I don't know if Lee has him yet to play, it's all to play for. It really, really is all to play for. In the bottom 2 spots, currently both on 9 points, is the Goblins and the Snotlings of Carl and Sam, both playing, yeah. Sam is considerably worse with his Snotlings compared to his Nurgle, but I know he's having a lot more fun, and honestly, that's the most important thing. The stat that makes the most importance to me for him is he's got the most casualties in the league, despite being bottom of the league with 12. The only teams close is me on 8, and Rob, the other Snotling team, on 8. So, if it keeps going as it is, I suspect he will be taking that home. I'll move across so you guys can see the points. So if we look here, these are the 3 teams. Myself, Liam, and Lee. They're going to be battling out for the title this season. And battling for the drop, it is going to be Carl and Sam. Let's go back and have a look at the scorers, passes, and casualty dealers of the Segunda Division. Then we'll go back and we'll do so for the Primera. In the Segunda Division, there has been 15 touchdown scorers. 3 touchdowns by Flinger of the Xandria Power Slaves, but also on the same is Rocket Raccoon of the Anti-Heroes, both on 3. Flinger is ahead because he has alphabetical supremacy, doing very well for himself there. All on 2 touchdowns, and again, alphabetical organisation. Chocolate Salty Boils from the Wild Boys, Chuka of the Xandria Power Slaves again making a show. Lancer Devant of the Wild Boys, Perel of the Pixie Prixies, Wade Wilson of the Anti-Heroes. All on 1 touchdown each. We have Ed of the Shaun of the Undead, Enoch of the Pixie Prixies, Fun Bobby of the Wild Boys, Grona of the Xandria Power Slaves. We have Grulsods of the Wild Boys. We have Krushatef of the Xandria Power Slaves. We have Porker of the Badlands Black Orcs, and Slamum of the Xandria Power Slaves. Wait. Oh, that means I have made a mistake. Give me a moment. Because Nigel, you should have a touchdown. Oh, there we go. You have scored a touchdown. Congratulations, buddy. Completions, it's open. It's entirely open. Barely anyone in stride. Only 4 passes have been made. 2 by the Anti-Heroes, 1 by the Pixie Prixies, and 1 by the Badlands Black Orcs of Ethan, Logan, Rocket Raccoon, and Snot Slinger. Casualties, bit of a difference. We have 18. I'm only going to mention those with more than 1, and I will just show you on screen those with just 1. Raging Bull of the Wild Boys has inflicted 3 casualties. Altair of the Anti-Heroes has scored 2. Basham of the Xandria Power Slaves, Dave Lister of the Wild Boys, Krushatef of the Xandria Power Slaves making his appearance again, Morgan Thrash of the Wild Boys, Slamba of the Xandria Power Slaves, Agent 47 of the Anti-Heroes, is the top person of the single casualties. And if I scroll just slightly, you can see the rest there. Going on to the Primera Division, we have Astrid of the Nordic Nippers, my team, top of the touchdown scorers table on 2. Also on 2, we have Bucky O'Hare of the Sneak Snigger Kniggets. We have Eric of the Somebodies, Jay Madison of the Averheim Mashers, and Ilsa of the Nordic Nippers again. All on 1 touchdown, we have Buck My Ass of the Mushroom Pickers, Derek of the Somebodies, Gogo Gadget of the Illustrated Snotlings, Ian of the Somebodies, Jay Tyler of the Averheim Mashers, Kenny of the Illustrated Snotlings, and T. Jefferson of the Averheim Mashers. Into the top passers. it is between Jay Tyler and Irsa, both with 4 of the Avahheim Mashers and the Nordic Nippers. We have Nebron of the Sunbodies on 2, as well as Lebron of the Sunbodies on 1. Unless Liam makes some heroics with some passing, it is going to be between Irsa and Tyler. Going on to the top Kaz, we are only going to mention those with multiple because there are 29 individual casualty dealers, and it is because of the Sunbodies. So, I'll read out the names of those that have done 1. But Hugh Janus of the Mushroom Pickers has dealt 3 casualties this season. Bang and Crash of the Illustrated Snotlings have done 2. Otto of the Sunbodies with 2. Paul Chuckle of the Sneaky Sniggering Kniggets on 2. Revna of the Nordic Nippers on 2. And The Brain of the Sneaky Sniggering Kniggets on 2. In terms of those with 1, we have Ainsley, Astrid, Badger, Bodil, Buck My Ass, D. Trump, Derek, Eric, Frida, G. Washington, Illustrated Snotling Rookies, Inga, J. Adams II, J. Madison, Jerk Me Willie, Kenny, Mep, T. Jefferson, Tick Tick, Wallop, Wubba Lubba Dub Dub, Yabba Dabba Doo, and Yeet. Well done indeed, everybody. Looking now at the next round of fixtures. So, just to give people an idea of what they are to be playing, and these fixtures are to be played on the 16th of May. So, not this week, but next week. These are as follows. Round 5 of Segunda fixtures is going to feature Jim of the Wild Boys getting his concede against Shaun of the Undead. The Anti-Heroes of Stu's team is going to get a concede against Adam. And the Pixie Prixies, Tom, is going to be playing John. This Andrew Power Slaves. That is going to be an interesting little fixture. So we only have 1 fixture to actually play there, unfortunately. Hopefully next season we have people with a bit more commitment. But going into round 4 of the Primera Division, we have the Illustrated Snotlings versus the Mushroom Pickers. This is Sam versus Carl. That is going to be a fantastic match to watch. We have the Avahheim Mashers versus the Sunbodies. Lee needs to win this to have any chance at the league title. If he draws or loses especially, he could be knocked out the race. A draw might keep him in, but it would require Liam to slip up elsewhere. The final match would have been myself versus Rob. I will be getting a concede, unfortunately, so there is no more to be done. It's a shame. It is what it is. Obviously, the week following that will be the Cup semi-final, which I will get to in due time. So I appreciate everybody for watching. It was a bit of a long episode. Update with the trophies. As I am speaking right now, the final League Award trophy for the Primera Division is printing, leaving 1 singular trophy left to print, which would be the Coach's Choice Award. Then they will be painted, then they will be put on their bases, and hopefully, once I order the plaques, they will end up looking something like this. Obviously, smaller versions for the lower division, and those are the 10cm trophies for the upper division. Take care, guys. Blood Bowl.